Well, it turns out to not be so easy for ENCE. They proved to be no match for the mighty Empire as we see Imperial take map number 1. Now, we're getting ready for the second map. Risk, how are you feeling heading on into this one? It's going to be Dust 2, obviously. That is the map pick of ENCE.
Yeah.
But after what we just saw, is that going to be enough?
I think it should be, from a statistical standpoint and a general logical standpoint. ENCE should be good enough to grab this map. I think they're on an 88% win rate over something like 15 to 17 maps. So this is definitely, as I said on the desk, they're a Dust 2 specialist team. So they are the big favorites, but the momentum, the individual prowess on this Imperial team, we just saw Esperanto's looking really nice. Nuke's finally stepping up in this tournament, really good from him. Nexa, intelligent plays every single round. They have the chance here. It could be 2-0, but ENCE is still my favorite.
See, I have to go. I mean, I said Imperial earlier. I'm still going to be leaning that way now. I'm sticking to my guns. Risk. They look fantastic over on Mirage, and I mean, I think no matter how good you are at Dust 2, right, you're going to be you're going to be in your head a little bit, right? If you're ENCE, after how that's just happened, you just get completely demolished over on Mirage. Admittedly, you know, you're heading into what is your best map. You feel very, very comfortable on it, but we're going to need to see certain players, I think, step back up. One of them being Alu, who's someone who is usually like a pillar of consistency. You can always expect him to do like reasonably well, and then he has moments where he's fantastic. But you know, in that match there, he was never on the board.
Definitely not. And Dust 2 is a map that in the past has been Alu's playground as well. So this is where I expect him to go back onto that normal level as we are used to seeing. So I'm not afraid just yet for ENCE, but let's say we get the 2 first buy rounds on the way and no one shows up. Alu doesn't hit anything. Sergey's not on the full like aggressive level where he just wrecks everyone as he can get. The man in the picture right now. Be that leading star for his team, but we haven't seen it yet. Alu very focused, and he needs to be. Also didn't have a lot of chances on that orb either, because all of that first half didn't really have money for it. Yeah. Second half, we didn't get a lot of the second half.
Yeah, and that's sort of the problem, right? All the issues feed into each other. Once you fall behind, it's a lot easier to keep falling behind than it is to catch up, right? You know, we never saw them with the money. You never really saw them look confident. Nothing they were doing was working, and ultimately, you know, kind of Imperial just sort of read them very well. And individually, that's one thing we always kind of hold these Imperial guys in very high regard, right? It is on an individual basis, they're all fantastic. And maybe it's kind of the team play element that they could be a little bit lacking in. And then that's normally what we see ENCE kind of have in abundance combined with that individual skill. We're going to be heading on through to Dust 2, though, Risk. Map number 2 in this second semi-final of today. One of these teams will be joining Kinguin in that grand final here at DreamHack Open at Montreal, and already ENCE going to be heading over here towards this B bomb site. They're looking to try and keep this pistol round fast and aggressive.
No utility on CT. It's all pistols and armor. Haji has to come up clutch for Imperial. Going to be flashed away. There's a secondary flash and a smoke being put down now as Haji's spamming, but the bomb site will be taken. So now it's a 5v5 retake, but Pound already on them. Sergey, not with a double, instant refract from Esperanto, very nicely done from him. Will go down to 1 HP, but can still be that thorn in the side. You see Arrow just swiveling around, and now the push comes in, but Alu is behind enemy lines. And X7 and Ariel both doing the dirty work.
Yeah, it's just Nexa 1v3. Do not fancy his odds in this scenario. This B bomb site notoriously hard to retake, even in even odds. So 1v3 feels like it should be impossible. Pete comes in, and that's going to be Alexi B to find it. ENCE secure themselves the pistol here on a Dust 2.
Looking very good. Very standard play, coming out with the smokes and the timings and the pushes. Looking like the ENCE that we expected to see here. The first flash time was very nice. Forced Haji out of the window. Very good to use on a one-man B setup. And works out here as well. Nexa with the Scout X7 the same. And a pretty decent buy coming out of ENCE. Focusing on 2 AKs, one for Alu, one for Ariel. Now just slowly setting up, seeing if they can find any advantage without giving too much information away. Pound already down to 74. Battle in mid, and it's going to be Nexa taking the L as he goes down to 22.
much slower round from it. So they're going to go ahead and turn their attention over here towards short, start to push on up. They know they've landed the tag on an ENCE over here in middle. I don't think they're aware of Pound being here as well yet, but if they were, could make the educated guess that it's going to be one less man over on this A-bomb site. Given that you haven't seen anyone cross back over. They're not going to discover their Pound's whereabouts down here in mid, which is going undetected for the time being. Esperanto now joining the rest of the gang over in middle. It's Pound up on short to try and take this initial fight versus Alexa B, and it looks like he just might drop down into CT spawn. Alu going to go ahead and beat him to the punchline. Pound's gone through the smoke. Alexa B believing that short might be clear, and it's this push from Pound that could do a lot of damage if he catches the right timing, but it doesn't look like he's going to. They haven't detected Nuki though. He's inside of the bomb site. Okay. I was going to say, maybe we could have seen something happen there, like a cheeky little ninja defuse, but no. ENCE going to go ahead and find that second round. They keep things pretty clean as well, starting to build up some money, some momentum, and some confidence here for the Finns.
And it's very important they get off to a good start. Imagine if they just get smashed from the pistol, lose the first buy round, down 0-5, 0-6. That would be terrible for them. But now they got in the pistol, they got this anti-eco the way, the full eco is coming in for Imperial. We're going to have to wait and see until that first buy round how Imperial are going to fare on Dust 2. But so far, so good. If you're a Finnish Counter-Strike fan. Alu spraying people down with a MAC-10, but only going to get one, so people is perhaps a bit too much. Ariel, though, answering back, taken down to 5 HP, and Hachi will be the last man standing. The lone Frenchman in middle is going to have to wave the white flag as this round goes sailing on by.
So the real time that ENCE are going to get tested is in this following round when the buy will come in for Imperial. This one is one they were hoping to keep a little bit cleaner. Potentially Ariel goes down as well, but it's very far away right now from Haji. Although...
Well, they did win the World Cup, so makes sense. He's playing around with the ball in T-spawn. But there's no... I don't think there's any way he's going to get anything out of this. Going to pick up the MAC-10, but they're going to be buying next round anyway. So Sergey will take him out of his misery, and 3-0 fans.
But this is where, as we say, this is where the real test comes in. Imperial in with their first buy. Do we see a repeat of Mirage, or is this the reformed ENCE? Have they gone away, taken that 10-minute break to psych themselves up, get back into this game? It certainly looks like it right now. Now Nuki gonna have the AWP out over on the side of Imperial. Takes it over here towards mid, flash. I'll allow Alex to be up onto the short position. Still 3 players over here towards A though for him to contend with. Minute and 20 seconds after. You look at how much utility Imperial have left. They got that 1 nade on Haji and that's it. And ENCE, they've got no such problem. They've been allowed to get down over here towards short, expending all in all not that much. You can see a armada of Molotovs left up, and that's going to cause so many problems both during the site take and in the post plant if they keep any of them.
This comes down to the opening duels. Imperial needs to win the first one at least, because that utility, as you mentioned, is stacked against them. Only the 1 nade on Hachi. They're playing very defensive right now. They don't want to take aggressive angles. Just holding the bomb sites for now. And Pound is the most aggressive one, and he's on long, but still not in pit yet. It's going to be the A play. 3 CT players waiting for them. First smoke drops in. Secondary one coming here on Alu. And Nexa is ready to defend, trying to spam through the smoke, but it's just between 2 of the T players. Molotov's landing in now.
Nexa. Things don't work out for him. Now it's Pound and Esperanto to try and hold back the tide of Finns. Sergey getting out of bail out Alu. Could have gone down there, but his teammate to assist him. 2 on 2, and Nuki gonna get spotted down towards CT. He's jumping up and manages to deal with Alu. Now Nuki versus Sergey, time ticking it down as well. Nade up on Sergey, can rain on in to try and keep Nuki tagged down low. He's gonna go and retrieve that AWP. Just home in on this angle.
Ooh.
You can tap that bomb and then continue aiming down the sights up here. Down in the corner, Sergey goes in with the peek. Nuki gonna find the kill.
This is gonna be close.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to the wire.
I think he has it.
Yeah, just about. Imperial gonna be finding their first round on the back of that 1v1 from Nuki. Gonna be getting their first round on the board. Yeah. Only one man surviving though, does leave them poised for a reset.
Nuki, nice one there from him. And I actually like the way that they played that 2v2 Imperial. So there's that Molotov down, and it might have been intentional, but he was definitely making noise before going into the Molotov. But he makes noise so that the player on A will hear that Nuki is pushing, hoping that that will make the two CTs or the two Ts kind of look towards his position while his teammate pushes up from short. Sadly though, that was read by the T side, who then got the frag onto short. Sergey played it really well. Balls of steel waiting out, but had to go for the peak. And it wasn't in time. If he waited a second longer, it probably would have been. But that's how Counter-Strike is sometimes. Very unforgiving.
Yeah, I mean, unforgiving is the nature of the game. Once again, Brent's looking like they want to go back to the tried and tested A bomb site. This time, interestingly enough, only 2 players here for Imperial. One of them being Nexa with that MP9 and the other going to be Pound with the FAM. It's not the ideal combo. Holding close along with that MP9, it is going to do damage in these closer angles, but with so many players here, there should be no way that Nexa manages more than one kill. They're not going to check it. There's the volley from the MP9. The ammo is running low. He does find good damage before the trade comes in, but Pound going to be under a lot of pressure. There's a nice shot with the FAMAS. That's the bomb dropped out in the open as well. Rotations now coming through. Esperanto going to fall and now burn out by that Molotov. Hadji and Nuki. All that remain for Imperial here. Going to have to try and retake this bomb site and man down.
Alu very low on HP. Will not be planted for long, but he's still all right from the right side of the pit. So not specifically a pit plant, but still very doable if he wants to rotate down. But for now, he's staying on the site. As his teammate has rotated down, but Alu is just on point. This is the Alu we were looking for in the previous map, but now he's turned up to play. 2 frags from him this round, and ENCE will comfortably grab this one. It's going to be 4-1 as Hadji saves the AWP.
Yeah, and that's a pretty bitter round for Imperial. It was looking very, very good. Yeah, Nexa doing a lot of damage over towards Hong Pan, landing that really, really nice shot. It was Esperanto who dropped the ball a little bit down towards Long. He falls, and then Pound getting pressure from 2 angles. The Molotov's rating is so much utility still up as well over on that side of ENCE. That was the problem.
Now, Alu and the boys will have a bit of an easier task. This is going to be the force buy for Imperial, but not really a dangerous one in that sense. 1 MP9 on Nexa, a couple of Desert Eagles, but armor on them, and then Nuki with the AWP. Actually trying his luck with the Desert Eagle. He'll get Molotov away. Help comes in, but doesn't really matter that much. Nuki's straight up taken out. And now 4v3. Post plan on B. One of the hardest situations to come in as a CT to take back, and this one's going to be no different.
Yeah, I don't even think they're going to get anywhere near that bomb site and have any shot of pulling anything off. ENCE going to be moving on to a 5th round, and they're going to look to try and take these Deegs, the armor, with them into the next. The issue is right now, you see, and this is something we've said every single time ENCE have moved into a bomb site, they always have so much utility left. Imperial not doing the best job of kind of making them work for a lot of this map control they're getting. You noticed as well in the round before this one, we had Nuki with the AWP was down towards CT spawn, for example, just watching for the cross. You with no one keeping an eye on the catwalk. Suddenly you're giving up these massive portions of the map and not forcing any utility out from ENCE. And that means, you know, they move into a bomb site, 20 seconds left. There's no utility on Imperial, and these guys still have, you know, 5 Molotovs, 4 smokes. At that point, the world is your oyster, as they say.
all that utility. That's kind of where, like, structured teams take an advantage as well. When you have every single piece to your strategy, every single piece of the puzzle, everything just seems to go so much smoother. And now time are being taken by Imperial. Neil M chiming in with his adjustments. And a big bunch of motivational speaking from him. So he seems to be on the Snipe Digital Pass wagon as well.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. Always nice to see. Neil M, good guy, helping us out. Up in the hand of Alu as always. And another weird round hit for Imperial. Money saved up, so they will be able to buy an next round. Actually, of course, only on 100. There's going to be a CZ or Desert Eagle for him. Alexi B trying to gain even more cash as he picks up Esperanto. Molotov in the corner, and Alexi B now going to be pushing in, but same as Pound as that Molotov drops. Secondary player. Will it be 3 for Alexi B? It will. 3 frags with the MAC-10, and this round is already great for ENCE.
Yeah, it feels like we could be seeing the reverse sweep here. You know, Mirage being very, very one-sided in favor of Imperial. Now ENCE looking to try and do the same to them here on a Dust 2.
Looking to extend that great scoreline. They're 15-2 on Dust 2 so far, ENCE. And the biggest loss they had was a 12-16. So not even a big loss either. Still a close game. Sergey. And Halo just patiently waiting, see if someone wants to cross in and maybe give them a weapon. Or take a weapon away at least. Alexi B is allowed to push in as well. Since he only has the MAC-10, the rest are now being hunted, but it's only one player surviving, Alu. Luckily, there's plenty of money on the ENCE side, and that's why they're committing all this. They want to make sure that the weapons are removed from the CTs. And even though they only bring 1 AWP into the next round, it doesn't matter. Alu has 10K to spare. Six-1, Harry. This is looking like a completely different team, and this is why I wanted to wait until we saw these buy rounds for ENCE on Dust 2. Because yes, the start was very impressive by Imperial. This is equally impressive.
Yeah, and I think as well, if this goes to a third map on the back, I mean, if ENCE can continue this and come out swinging, then they are definitely going to have a big advantage heading into that third map. They're going to be coming off the back of the best momentum. They've just shut down a team as well that completely, you know, ruined them early on. And in Imperial's mind, they're going to be sitting there thinking, you know, this is such a fast, good first game from us. What went wrong? What led to us ending up in this third map? But 3-on-3, oh, make that a 2-on-3 right now. Esperanto not able to catch a break, half as well as he's catching bullets. And Hadji now 1v3. Once again, that lone B player going to be forced to try and either go for the clutch or just hold on to this FAMAS.
It's just not working out. Imperial, a team that relies a lot on the fact that they can out-aim and win people out in 1v1 duels and have that instant refrag potential even if they lose a duel. But the problem is if they are spread too thin because the organization on the map isn't as strong as it usually is, all those small deals between the players on the sides aren't really there in place as they are on Mirage because they played it so much. It kind of starts to crumble when you play a very well-structured team. And ENCE is definitely that.
Well, 7-1 right now in favor of the Finns. For Imperial, this is going to be quite the deflating experience. For ENCE, this is going to be exactly what they needed. Get them pumped, get them back in to this game.
This is going to be another eco for them. Hadji, of course, saving. And he's even going to get tagged through the wall. Might have to drop the M4 over to Nexa, who's the only other one with armor. As he goes down to 19 HP, and this is not the start that we're looking for. In an already hard round, it becomes even harder for them. Imperial. Seems like they're out of bounds at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to look at, like with these two teams. Both of them with something to prove. You look at ENCE, and kind of since that run at Cologne, they haven't really done too much. They've been a bit absent. Everyone's been wondering, you know, this team that was really hyped up, where have they been? And for Imperial as well, they kind of, you know, it's a new look Imperial. We have Hachi, we have Boone, and they are desperate to show that, you know, for example, the removal of Crystal, stuff like that, all of this wasn't in vain. And you think back to their victory at DreamHack, some of their other results, these guys have a lot to show here.
A lot on the plate for everyone. Alu beats it all up as he takes down Esperanto. Star player of the other team, another one for him. He's definitely showed up to his old stellar self. 2 frags in this round as well. And Nexa now 1v5. Going to be very hard for him to get anything done here. Desert Eagle in hand, yes, but LXCB is not far away. Actually, 2 teammates coming with him, and they're just going to take him out. Surgical precision, just as Taz in that first best of 3. So are ENCE here on Dust 2.
I mean, these might be 2 of the most one-sided games back-to-back that we've had at this event thus far, potentially.
Just as one-sided as Trace versus Just Harry GG, you know?
Yeah.
Always know when that's gonna go.
You ever seen that, like, it's called like Fist Fight or something, that film?
Yeah, I'm just very confused by the fact that Nuki just died in a Molotov, lost 100 HP to it. I'm sorry. I just completely didn't know.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. Now it confused me too, but...
A film called Fist Fight, yeah?
Yeah, you ever seen it?
No.
Okay, then never mind. I won't bother making any jokes about it.
Okay.
Here's the smoke going down over towards CT. Esperanto trapped on the other side. The issue is, no one's even going to be heading his way as they once again back towards this A bomb site. It feels like poor Hachi over towards B hasn't seen action in rounds. He's just been saving time and time again, or having to go for these impossible clutches. He's now relying on his 3 teammates here inside of A to hold back ENCE. And let me tell you, Nexa is delivering right now. It all falls onto Alu. But Alu and clutching on Dust 2, name a more iconic duo. Nexa finally shuts him down.
Leading by example there. 4 frags, puts them all in his backpack and just starts running. Nexa wasn't usually an in-game leader. Tried it before, didn't work out with Renegades. Now, it's actually, well, so far fairly okay, working out here on Imperial. I definitely think he has the potential to be a good end-game leader. It's a very smart mind about the game. That's at least step 1. Esperanto always great with the AWP as well. Double up setup on the CT side for Imperial. Has caught the first one off guard, but secondary is Sergey. And he picks up Nuki, only to be refragged instantly by Nexa. And this is what I was talking about so many times about this Imperial team. Their refrag potential is so big, so good at this. But now Hachi, finally, after a few rounds, gets a visit. But of course, Esperanto rotates in and steals it away.
Still for Imperial, they might finally start to chain together a couple of rounds here. LXCB get dealt with it. Haji quite happy with that. Finally gets to show his mettle over towards that B-bomb site.
He's been waiting a long time for that.
Well, that's always the thing is, I mean, you think about Haji over towards B on Mirage, right? There was that one round where he just completely annihilates ENCE, so they didn't look the same past that. And this time around, I mean, even then, you know, him in that B-bomb site, I wouldn't want to go running into it anytime soon. ENCE just steering well and truly clear, and they're not giving him any way of playing into this CT side.
And that becomes really dangerous. When you try and play 1 man around the smoke, and you don't have that instant backup or flash through it from Esperanto's position, he's going to get double Molotov. We'll pick up 1, though. Was ready for that angle, but now, with only 2 CT players remaining, this is becoming very hard to handle. But Esperanto always wants to find miracles out of nothing. And he finds the LXCB, who's now dead and gone. Sergey dropped into pit bomb, is still dropped towards long. And Esperanto just using this smoke as a wall, turn his back to it. Sergey just waiting patiently. Sees the head, but Esperanto finds him. That's his 3rd of the round. And now it's down to a 2v2. The bomb is under the control of Esperanto.
I'm sure Imperial wanted One or two sim you'd want to hold on to this bomb. It's Hadji and Esperanto, both of them having a fantastic time thus far. Hadji brought down to his knees, and Alu's going to find him now. It's Esperanto who has to go for the ace. He's going to manage 4. Flick onto Aerial as well. And Esperanto, what a turnaround in that round. There's the ace for him. And this could be a means for Imperial to get back into this now. He's hitting his shots, he's got the AWP in hand, and he's looking fantastic.
This is why we keep talking about this guy. Not only with the rifles, he is a former AWPer as well, so he can definitely pick that up. He does it on Dust 2 and picks up a round all on his own. Hadji looking a bit deflated, maybe focused as well as Pulse come in. This one is for ENCE. Twister behind them. Maybe with a few adjustments to the setups as the players themselves just talk things through. So we get ready to jump back into the game. As Imperial finally finding some foothold here on Dust 2. 4 rounds now. It's not terrible. They can definitely still come back from this.
Yeah, I mean, this was what, an 8-1 scoreline at one point in time, so an 8-7 half still possible. You look over at ENCE's money and it's entirely gone, and those odds even kind of reflecting that now. I mean, they've closed back in. Imperial now just 4 rounds behind that event. And a shot at damaging this economy, putting it back in the realms of a partial buy. I mean, already the buy into this round isn't looking great. Alu's got the AWP, but you see Alexa had to grab an MP7. In terms of utility, I think they've got 3 flashbangs left, sorry. Still plenty in the way of Molotovs, but then Imperial, first time in a long time, we've kind of seen them with the buy they want. They've moved back into this double AWP setup between Esperanto and Nuki, and that's been working for them.
Pound now, and his teammate ready for this eventual A push. Esperanto on the back of that ace might have even more to find here. 3 Ts are stacking up on long, 2 towards short, so they have an ideal setup for this one. Imperial spots 1 in pit, basically a headshot position, but one's coming in close. He sees that arm as well from the flashbang, now knows that there might be trouble, but 1 for 1 on shot. Esperanto off screen finds Aerial, but he's taken out.
Yeah, it all falls onto Pound, and X7 does not let up. He's relentless. Nuki now with that other AWP. Keeping his eye on the cross. The bomb isn't down yet. It's only just been thrown across. Nuki not able to find it, sadly, but they've been given a little bit more time to try and get into position here. Goes for the wall bang on the car. Hadji's wrapped round to long, and there must be a temptation to try and go for this. They're not going to be able to buy in the next round anyway. Money isn't fantastic.
Hadji not moving because Nuki gave the call to this, at least 1 towards long. That's exactly why Hadji's just holding back. He knows that Alu is probably sitting here with an AWP. At this point, 2v3 post plant when long is locked down and the plant is like this, there's no reason to go for it. And Imperial making the right choice here.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be force buying in the next round anyway as well, so they're going to have a little bit more to work. But Nuki could even go as far as to throw something over. Maybe a FAMAS or something along those lines to someone like Esperanto. So they will have 3 rifles heading into this next round if they elect to go for the force.
Let's wait and see. There's a drink is needed. Do have a small technical pause here, guys. For Imperial, will be bringing it back into the game as soon as possible. And allow the players to just get a slight sip of water. Everyone to be 100%. That's what we want.
That's what we want, Risk. You know, that is our goal. We can see that the admins up on stage right now are going to be working overtime to get this fixed.
It is very important that Esperanto is on point. So if there's something there, mouse is not working correctly, he needs to get that fixed. He's the best player, the star player on that Imperial lineup, and you need him 100%. There's no way around it.
Oh, most definitely. This is a stressful time now. Stressful for both teams. I mean, ENCE, for them, I mean, they were up 8-1, like we say. It was looking like it was just going to be a flat blowout, and now suddenly we're at a 9-4 scoreline.
cortisol levels are high, Harry.
Yeah. What is cortisol? I don't actually
It is
know.
long time
just be like, yeah, I know that.
stress. I'm not sure what the English word for it. Might be hormone. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I have a lot of that. Just stress all the time. But,
stress and salt.
Yeah.
Great combination.
Just waiting to get this sorted. But let's recap for those of you who are just joining us. This is the second map in our second semi-final of the day. Imperial just won out Mirage, their map pick. In a very, very dominant fashion. ENCE barely even on the board. I think it was, what, 16-3 off the top of my head, something along those lines?
Yeah,
maybe
something like that.
Right now, ENCE currently leading the charge, though, 9-4 on their map pick of Dust 2. They were up 8-1 at one point in time. For these guys now, it's a matter of survival. We have to see that third map if ENCE want to make it through to the grand finals later today to play versus Kinguin for their share of that $100,000 prize pool.
And a beautiful trophy.
And the beautiful trophy. They're reason enough. And not only that, but you know, it's all about making the statement for any one of these three teams that could, you know, I mean, Kinguin already being confirmed, but ENCE or Imperial, like we kind of were alluding to, right? Both these teams being the up-and-comers, both having a few good events here and there, but still kind of looking to prove themselves. And here would be a fantastic event to sort of try and cement yourself on these lists of the Tier 2 teams.
Definitely. And with that being said, we're going to jump straight back into the game. As predicted, it's going to be the force buy for Imperial. MP9, UMP, Desert Eagle, and then the two saved weapons, Nukia and Haji. Both with a decent setup, while everyone on that seaside has every single bit and piece they need for the assembly of a victory. Esperanto, even though that he doesn't have a main weapon right now, he's so good with the Desert Eagle that it might count as the main weapon. Pound just seeing if he can bait something out of this T side. Will go down to 48 and now forced to retreat.
It's well aware that there were weapons saved and that this is going to be a force buy from Imperial. You can see the hesitancy there. Just holding control of the map, waiting to see if Imperial try force their hand anywhere, see if they can catch them, perhaps overextending. You don't want to fall prey as well to some of these SMGs that have been invested. Trying to burn out as well that little utility that Imperial do have.
And now after that initial double stack short, Esperanto's going to try and go aggressive. Nukia will go on to the A-bomb side where Alu's already locked down the angle. Now it's all on Pound. Has to get at least a frag and buy time here, but it's such a hard position to do it from. It will do almost every single point of damage, but won't succeed in the end, and Alu now locking down frags in mid. This seems done and dusted. Haji once again, the master of saving, might have another save to do here, but yeah, economy on ENCE is not that strong, so I don't really think they're going to be throwing people at it. X7 takes it in the first frag, so it doesn't really matter. So the question is now, Imperial, when the pressure really hits, how strong are you? Potential for an 11-4 half for ENCE. They're looking solid so far. 3 orbs to start this off. They have plenty of money. Can be switched over to AK's. Nukia takes damage to begin with. Now Alu making his way downtown.
Yeah, he's walking fast over here towards short. Gonna keeping on with Alexi B.
He's far from homebound though. Finland is far away.
Yeah, most certainly is, Risk. Brilliant, trying to shoehorn that one in there at the end of this first half. Here is Ariel, opening things up for ENCE. Yuki, fine, way over here towards Zong. Still 2 players inside of this A-bomb site. See Haji, who's played B time and time again, just still residing there with that scout. Not going to get to see any action by the looks of things. I mean, I think we've seen ENCE go B twice in this entire game.
Yep.
So, Stratbook hasn't even been too deep. The aim has been there. The openers have been found. We've seen great usage of utility to flush these players out into the open, and that's what they've done now with Esperanto. They've made it feel very claustrophobic here on the ramp, nullifying so many angles, and Esperanto, oh, with the deagle, gonna manage himself too. The trades there from Alexi B. Alu now desperately trying to help his teammate out as this Deeg on Nexa works its way in. Alu gonna dispatch of the man, and Hadji does not last long in mid. Once the last man has fell up inside of A, ENCE going to be winning out this first half in a very, very big way. 11-4 right now.
Looking almost as solid as Imperial did look on Mirage. Tables have now turned, and they will turn once again as the two teams switch side. It doesn't matter how many cool deagle shots Esperanto can get here. The result remains the same. 11-4. As the coaches will give their final inputs before the second pistol round. How much can they change? How much can they push their team in the right direction? Always interesting to note that in DreamHack tournaments, unlike, for example, the major that's going on right now, coaches can talk to the team at all points. So this, for example, this little break here is a great opportunity in the middle of rounds, in eco rounds, when you know you have one player saving unless he needs the sound. It's a great time for the coach to chime in. And I love that about these DreamHack events. More power to the coaches.
Yeah, well, it is always interesting to see the difference that it's make. I always think is fairly noticeable. But heading into this pistol round risk, it's going to be essential that Imperial find this, or else ENCE are on the finish line of this second map. And there's Alu. Imperial gotta manage one more. Meanwhile, over here in mid, Sergey springing into action, leaves all the pressure onto Hadji. Now, he never really got a taste of the action on that B bomb site on his CT side. He's now going to go ahead and get his fair share of action here in the pistol. He has to try and land a 1v4. Imperial want to stand a chance of coming back in this second half.
And it just seemed like ENCE from the get-go had the perfect counter positions-wise to what Imperial wanted to do, because Hadji didn't even have time to throw his utility. That's a nice one bullet. Ooh. That's pretty crazy. Secondary peek. He's not going to be the best, and, well, you set the finish line. And that's a double-edged sword in this scenario because, well, they are from Finland, Harry. Yeah.
That is pretty good accidental double entendre there from you and I. But, yeah, they are almost at that finish line. Hadji going to be buying that scout once more, keeping an eye on mid. Hasn't spotted anyone on the cross as the smoke is down. Imperial looking a bit out of their depth here on Dust 2.
Desert Eagles in play, and then the scout as mentioned. Every single dollar, though, invested for ENCE. Some utility behind it as well. No smokes on the T side, only a single flashbang and a nade. Hadji. Scout in hand. Slowly but surely moving up towards the bomb site. Knows that there's something there. You can see him, he's just looking for the angles, but he can't find Alu because Alu's just holding back. He doesn't want to peek. He knows he has the best position and he can just sit back and wait.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're ENCE, the pressure's not on you, right? You're up 12-4. This is your anti-eco. Imperial have to get a bomb site to get that bomb down as well. They can just afford to sit back and wait. Now, Ali does get a little bit curious, albeit for a second, and that's going to lead to him falling at the hands of Hadji.
Oh, Hadji might get a second one here. Oh, that's on point!
Hadji is lighting it up right now. Ariel's going to try and do his best Hadji impression, finally put down by Nexa. And Hadji on this scout, he's going for more. He's looking hungry. And Hadji peeking down towards mid, tags up Sergey, now retrieves the bomb, decides to play for the team and not for the montage. Nuke Keegan going to get rid of X7. Sergey left in a 1v3, and this feels like it should be impossible on the back of Hadji. They're going to find themselves around, and this was the thing I was looking forward to, was Imperial moving onto this T side. Hadji, you could tell, he was hitting his shots inside a B, he was feeling eager. Now they can unleash that, right? You don't have to have a man who can just be avoided. You can have him find these entries, open up these rounds, and that's exactly what they did here.
Very nicely done by him. Haji joining back onto the game, and Pound, though, will take, well, a scout shot to the face, but quick push out towards long. Good utility, flashbangs follow through. Damage being dealt as well, and this mini buy from ENCE is not going to work out. 2 players already down, but damage dealt, so there's still a possibility. For now, it's not working out, but it can always turn around. That's the beauty of Counter-Strike. Imperial follow the route as his teammate drops as well, and Al will now have some time in T-spawn to play around with the football.
Yeah, I mean, ENCE, you know, they're having a good laugh, but they're also talking right now. They're using this extra time to have a chat about this coming round, or rather the next buy that they're going to have, and how it is they want to play when they have the money to. Imperial finding a couple here, though.
All right, making this competitive.
Well, they're looking to make it a little bit more than competitive here on Dust 2. Let's not forget they're 1-up in the series right now after a dominant victory on Mirage. Both these teams vying for their spot in the grand final later today versus Kingwin.
And a full eco here should be rather easy. Farm up some money. Nuki and Nex are both going in. 7 rounds on the board, and only now 5 away from tying up the game. They're building the economy, they're building the confidence back now from a horrible first half, because now they control the pace of the game. Yes, it might not be their map choice, but they're on the T side, they control the pace. Imperial, and that's where they're best.
Yeah, and I mean, Esperanto and Haji have both been putting up pretty good numbers in this match thus far. Right now, I mean, you can just use both of those two to open up these rounds. That's exactly what we're seeing. Next is going to go charging in. It's just a fast B play, completely changing the pace. And ENCE, they're caught completely off guard. No one is ready for this. And the bodies have hit the floor inside of B. Alu comes rotating in, but it might be too little too late. And indeed it is. That bomb goes down within the first 20, 30 seconds of the round, and that is going to be it. ENCE backing away to save. Fantastic stuff from Imperial, knowing that they would have... I mean, we didn't see him take a pause as such, but they had that moment where Alu and everyone having that discussion about what to do. And Imperial, they read it well. They changed the pace up entirely.
That B push is so dangerous, especially if you can get the good flash timing in and then 2 first players in. Even though they had 2 CT players on the bomb side, it just wasn't enough. The full force of Imperial in straight 1v1s and 2v2s is just, yeah, too strong. 2 ops saved though, so it's not the end of the world. They still have the double op setup going on the CT side of things. But economy will become a problem the more rounds that Imperial get on the board.
Well, I mean, yeah, most certainly will. You kind of look at this, and this is geared perfectly now to an Imperial comeback if there was going to be one. ENCE over on this CT side, you know, suddenly you're kind of thrusting yourself into these situations where right now they're running this double AWP setup. Things are going to get very, very expensive. Your money never really going to be given a shot to build it up. Even this buy at its core is an interesting one. They have money now to invest in the next round, though.
Yeah, exactly. They're basically taking the option of saying, let's try with 3 weapons, and if we lose, we have still the next round buy. Ariel surviving that first onslaught, taking down Pound and rotating away, as he should do. Textbook Counter-Strike. Take an advantage, rotate away, play defensive.
And this is where from Imperial we need to see them. You know, they lost the man. They're trying to play for the refrag right now, but that hasn't worked out, so they're going to start to back away from long, maybe leave SP here, but they want to now start to try to explore other avenues. And when they do, they might discover only 1 man lies inside of this B bomb site. It's a 4-man stack right now inside of A. And Imperial still looking committed. And that could be the thing that decides their fate in this round. Alu going to get given that frag for free. Sergey, in the meantime, takes the fight along. And slowly but surely, Imperial getting picked limb from limb. Nuki going to answer back as best he can. The bomb plant can now come in. It falls to him and Haji to clutch this out in the 2v3.
But with 2 ops and only a CSET 75, luckily X7 finds an M4. Now it's about to be very rough, especially when Haji finds openings like that. The second one not going to come in, but good damage. Nuki now in a 1v2. It is very possible. Low HP on 1, finds him. 1v1 now against the Lexi B with York.
Nuki going to be the man to get the job done. Imperial Slowly but surely making this work. I was going to say they look ecstatic. They most certainly do not. They're very, very focused right now.
Yeah.
Besides, now's not the time for smiling. They're 1-up in the series. That's something I'm liking. They're not getting ahead of themselves. You know, you're not over-celebrating. It was 8-1 at one point in time in favor of ENCE. Now we see it getting increasingly closer to being that even scoreline all tied up. ENCE kind of left asking themselves, where has this gone so wrong? They were looking absolutely unreal here on Dust. I thought it was going to be the complete reverse sweep. They take the second map, and then we see a third. And right now, all that's being called into question.
Timeout gone for Imperial. Let's just fix the last bits and pieces. Esperanto and the boys looking poised. Not a shot through the wall there, but once again, the double up set up on the CT side of things. X7 pushed into pit, but he has the Molotov down. Nage bringing in as well. And that's the first man next. He thought he had people behind him for the refrag, but he doesn't. They've been cut off. He's now having to rotate away. Pound even taking damage as well. Switched over to the AWP.
Still. Now trying to take control of mid, maybe switch things up and head in towards this B bomb site. They've had success here in the past. This time they have to get past Sergey and Alexi B.
I feel like a B split right now would be the best way to go.
Yeah, the one issue with that is you look at Alexi B's utility, he still has that Incendiary left. So if they let this clock tick down and then they try and play for that late B, if he still has the Molotov, he just Molotovs off either, you know, one of the mid, but most likely the tunnel, and then he nullifies one entire prong
and moving out
of this defense.
Oh, okay. Sergey with an AWP, and then X7 finds that, and now it's... I don't know, I think it's time to save, to be honest. X7 not going to find that. Esperanto steals a frag away, and they're still going to go for this. They're still going to try their roll. They do have money in the bank, so it's understandable you want to go for it, but this game could go ahead and be a long one. Could go to all 30 rounds. But nice lockdown there. And also having that up from Sergey, peering into mid, finding that one opening before they get into that B split area. Very nicely done.
Well, and they managed their first round in a little while. That was their first attempt, winning the pistol here in the second half. Need to see a little bit more from them, though. That reset going to be looming. You look over at Imperial, they could still sustain one more loss, scrape together a bye in the next round, so it's not the end of the world for them. But a much slower round, centric over towards this B bomb site as well. This time looking like they're just going to commit to it perhaps off the bat.
Counter smoke drops in. Do they want to go through it now? That's the question. They are set up for the B push. And Alexi B now turning his back. 2 players around the B bomb side and 1 in CT. Alexi B. Deep smoke lands in, but he's in the perfect position unless they mollo him out here. Sergey can be the first brunt of attack, but let's see the mollo lands at his feet, but he's going to stay and he's going to spray. He's only going to get 1. But on the back of it, it's going to be Sergey picking up 2 and now Nexa. 1v1 and he's gone. 14, Harry, for ENCE.
Yeah, now this is where that momentum has switched back in favor of the Finns. As we kind of highlighted, they can still scrape together a bye here on the side of Imperial. But they have missed that opportunity to immediately go ahead and reset ENCE into this round now. Keeping it in players live in the previous means that money's starting to build up here for this CT side. Already though, Pound's opened up. He's found a double. He's burned to death at the very end of it. But what an opener to find. Suddenly Imperial in with a shot, finding a 10th and reaching double digits. Aggressing out through mid though. That's going to be Arlu, and he's gone completely unnoticed.
With an AWP as well, just walking in. Alexi B now to hold it long. He's going to get flashed out completely and taken out as well. Now Sergey and Alu.
It's all onto Alu. He put a lot into this flank. He's round in the back, and there's his first kill on Ahaji. Just gonna miss his shot of finding a second. Molotov can't quite deny that bomb plant either. Alu with an AWP in hand, a smoke, 2 flashbangs to try and clutch this out. 1v3, Nuki flanking round from behind.
Yeah, this is a very, very tough one for Alu, so he's probably going to go ahead and save. This is going to try to before Nuki shuts him down. Money wasn't that good. And they're definitely going to be in trouble. Not in this one, but the next time they want to buy into a loss. Pound there with a double entry, as you mentioned. Very nicely done. Yes, he dies to the Molotov, but he finds 2 for 1 and map control and information. So that's worth it every single day of the week. Full eco for most players. X7 on Desert Eagle armor. Sergey buying down to 1,000, which I feel is kind of a weird choice. Alexi B on 1,100 as well. They might actually go for the double eco here by Desert Eagles and C-sets the next round. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, it looks to be the case. They've still put a lot into this round, and they think they can do it. Alu going to miss that shot, and you're relying on him quite heavily, but Aerial now helping out. There's a gap in that smoke. They can't keep offering these frags up to Alu. He's going to take them all day long with the AWP. And now a rifle's been picked up on X7. Alu given another opportunity, and they just keep on peeking into him. You cannot give Alu those opportunities. ENCE, a 15th round map point here on Dust 2, 1 away from taking us through to map number 3 to decide who will be securing that spot alongside Kingwit in the grand final later today.
Yeah, that was not a good round for Imperial. Alu did well, yes.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to know that was a bad round. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the hole in the smoke not being plugged sooner, the continuous peeking into the 2 or 3 players that had eyes on that one gap. But they can't look to dwell on the past for too long. They have to try and stay alive in this matchup, and they're now going to go charging in towards B. They've managed one. Sergey's actually stuck. We're into a 3-on-3. The bomb's about to go down. It's this wrap round out through the doors that could make a difference.
Esperanto finds a frag that he's not supposed to, as he takes down Aerial. Has a Molotov as well. Alexi B just walking into the smoke, but Pound is ready. And now Alu once again has to realize that there's no way of winning the round. This time around, he will be allowed to save though, as Imperial will be looking to bring all 3 AKs into the next round. They don't want to throw any of them away. So we're going to go to round number 11 for Imperial. ENCE still on map point.
One round is all ENCE need to carry this one through to map number 3 for Imperial. We see them just 4 rounds away from bringing this through to an overtime in map number 2. This went from looking like it could have been a blowout to an incredibly close second map in this series. And now the pressure's on. I mean, yeah, if they were still like just getting wrecked, you're down like 15-3, you can kind of start focusing on the next one. But this is going to be a very taxing game on Imperial. They're putting everything into it. They want to try and outlast ENCE and carry this one through to OT. And there's another opener found onto Alexa B. What a scalp to take as well. And now up through short they go. X7 all the way back through T-spawn. Now a flank coming in through lower tunnels could catch Imperial off guard. They're not ready for this. Sergey with a shot. He hears all the players hop on down, and he's just going to keep on sneaking. Rotation back through T-spawn, but no, he misses it. They're going to check him, and now they know they've got that B bomb site for free. This round should be over, especially with Nuki on this flank. Imperial going to be moving on to a 12th.
See how much more damage these C-sets can do. 3 of them left, and might even want to bring them into the next round as well, seeing as X7 is on 1100 and Alexa B on 12. They got a miracle last time around with the AWP on Alu and pistols and everyone else, but this time around reality hits. As Imperial so far haven't lost a single player. Building economy. slowly but surely getting closer to the chance of taking this to OT.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to come down to the wire. You said this could be a full 30-round game, and it certainly looks like it's going to. Imperial picking up their 12th. Keeping these CZs up. As you mentioned, right, they were able to get lucky in just the round before this one. Maybe they can do it again, but you can't imagine Imperial going to make that same mistake twice, let alone at map point.
No, definitely not.
Still, it's a tall order. Might only be a few rounds away from overtime, but these 3 rounds are going to feel like full games at this point in time to Imperial. The stress of it all. Haji charging in, playing the anti-flash, going to manage himself 3 kills, even getting one through the edge of that smoke. Frags come in. Imperial will be moving on to a 13th by the looks of things, unless Alexi B can do something truly spectacular.
Finds the first one. Snow kick on down. Flash out to grab the weapon. Gets it. And now in a 1v2, they are decently low on HP. He doesn't have armor, he doesn't have a kit, so he has to go for the kills. And he has to be straight up. Not seeing anything now, top mid. In a few seconds, his spidey sense will be tingling, and he'll have an idea this might be a B plate. But for now, he's just hanging around. He's not seeing anything. The bomb's going to go down, and now he's so far away that this could be either plant. There we go. He finds out, and he's now going to go for the B.
He has that 100 HP and AK. No utility, no armor, no kit. The bomb. Part the tunnels, I believe, judging by the map. Esperanto and Pound to try and overcome. A Pound first LAN event with this squad, first LAN event ever, I think. We get to see now how he slots in. How does this chemistry work as him and Esperanto look to try and hold on to this lead for Imperial, but Alexa B managing the first. Taps on the bomb. It's Esperanto to keep Imperial in this. In the 1v1, he holds his nerve, picks up a 13th round, and now they need 2 more if you want to see this head on through to overtime. Such
a nice mind game as well. Planted for tunnels. Usually in that 2v1, you always have one site, one tunnels. Then when you kill the guy's site, you're 90% expect the last guy to be in tunnels. And that's where Esperanto's just like, nah, I'm just going to play mind games on you. I'm going to stay behind the bomb site. When you're going to look tunnels, I'm just going to walk in and kill you. Very nicely done by him. Sometimes you don't need the best aim to win the duel, as long as you have the best brain. Forced by Imperial. In order for these 5+1 brains to discuss what's going to go down in the next round. Neil now sitting down. You can see him just pacing back and forth. He is as nervous, if not more nervous than the players.
Yeah, that's something I love about him as the coach. You kind of brought it up. He absorbs so much of the stress because he gets so involved, right? You see him take a lot of that on for the players. But next up, out through long, and it's lots of aggression right now from Imperial. You can definitely see the switch up in confidence from these guys. They went from being so worried about facing anyone from ENCE. You saw them kind of never being able to play like a trade game, not feeling confident in their ability to win the fights either. And I mean, it's quite telling. The last few rounds just rushing out those long doors and finding success on the back of it.
Imperial is a confidence team. If they lose their confidence, as they did in the early parts of this game, you see them just fall apart. But when they regain that, and then I'm not going to say the map doesn't matter, but it's very close to that. When they regain that confidence in a game, in a map, they are very, very hard to beat. Especially when they know all the standard situations, smokes and flashes, as they do here in Dust 2.
Well, there's the opener, Esperanto. He's not a man lacking confidence. He's gone ahead and opened up this round once again in favor of the Imperial. And this is a bomb site. It's open for business. There's no one here. ENCE have gone ahead and hedged their bets. They've stacked everyone over towards B. They've got 2 players over here in mid. Make that 3, actually. The bomb goes down, and ENCE just have to save all 4 players. Well, that's great, because now they're going to have, you know, like a decent buy into this next round. You've given Imperial a 14th. They now are 1 away from overtime.
Oh, no.
They cannot afford to give away these rifles at the very end. Next is going to go hunting. And Imperial, they have the money. Worry about money. Yeah, exactly. We're so in sync.
Just like Justin Timberlake and the boys, you know?
Oh, yeah, okay, I got.
It was an instinct.
Yeah, no, that was actually
I'm not sure
good.
if you're old enough to.
No, I
get
do
the
know
rest.
instinct. But Nexa and Hadji, they're going to boost him up and over. They know that anything they take away is so valuable in trying to ensure this game heads on through to overtime. Alexa B desperately trying to protect him and his
They're waiting for the time.
And in they go, Hadji gets rid of them. Every one of these kills is worth so much. The AWP stays alive, but that is all they're going to have brought with them into round number 30.
And one of the players was killed after the time went out, so that means he gets 0 money whatsoever. This is a tough task for ENCE. Also, OT is so hard. If you've been on 15 for so long, and then the other team grinds it back, it's hard to motivate yourself to get back into that position. ENCE now taking a pause. Have to trust in the strategies, have to trust in the tactics, in the plans laid out before this game. Trust in the system, trust the process.
This is the issue. I don't think either one of these teams is a team that's going to have a particularly strong CT side on this map, for the reason that, you know, they rely a lot on the individual skill to find openers. Imperial just going to go barreling in towards B on the back of the pause. Once again, we've seen them do this once. X7 here with the scout. Missed shots. It's Sergey to step on up and mow down 3, and suddenly ENCE find themselves just 1 kill away from taking us through to a third map. Nexa, the last man up for Imperial, the rest of the squad watching as he attempts to try and clutch this out, and it's not going to happen. And it's going to be ENCE picking up map number 2, 16-14. It goes the distance, the full 30 rounds. We're going to be seeing a third map risk. This game keeps on going.
Oh, Imperial have to feel gutted. It was so close for them to reach overtime, but ENCE get it in the end. It wasn't easy, but they definitely got the W here on Dust 2.
Yeah, especially when you consider, I mean, that buy from ENCE into the last round wasn't very good. They only kept the one weapon heading forward. It was amazing. I mean, Sergey, props to him to actually land that and keep them in this almost single-handedly, all coming down to that last round.
That was absolutely a great way to end it, and now we only have the last map in store, and we talked about how we wanted this series to go all the way to find the right victor, and we will have it go all the way to the third map.
Yes, indeed, we will. ENCE, I think they look good there. I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling now. I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm so conflicted as to who I want to take this, Imperial or ENCE. I mean, I think Imperial is still going to be feeling fine heading into this third map. It was a grind, right, and they still end up losing. But the comeback itself was monumental. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and throw this one over to a break, and then we'll be back with the third and final map of this best-of-3 semi-final.